variable bitrate just because of the music stuff, but it's kind of overkill for 8 and 16-bit.
You're treating it with respect. CJ?
Yes? What am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Do you host shows anymore?
Oh, wait. Yeah.
I'm recording. I don't know about you.
All right, let's do a clap, because those are good, and those will tell us if we have any lag or not. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Excellent.
All right, then.
It's not like that episode with TJ where I clapped and then 3 seconds later, clap.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was an amazing episode. All right. Close this door. All right. Hello and welcome to episode 411. I just went voice. Of the Player One podcast for Monday, September 22nd, 2014. I'm your host, Chris Johnson. With me, as always, is a man from California who stood in line for 7 hours to get his Mega Man iPhone case, Mr. Bill Theobald.
Yeah, I could see where you were going with that one, Sly, but it kind of fell apart about halfway through.
It did.
Maybe we better let Murray handle the rest of this one.
That's right. And from California, a guy who doesn't know what time we're recording this show, Mr. Exuberant.
Was the California thing a joke?
Late. What?
You said it was from California.
Did I say from California?
Oh, lose the asshole now.
Racist.
From the great
State of Canada.
Of Canada.
Oh my God,
Mr. Craig.
Nova Scotia, CJ.
Mike's not hearing. It's disturbing my flow.
Great province of Nova Scotia.
If you're having flow issues, you should really see a urinologist.
Oh, that's
a uroologist, a urinologist.
Urinologist? What?
We're just not. This is bad. This is a bad start. You know, we should restart.
You want to restart?
No, not at all. This is gold.
Let's restart
gold,
anyway.
No. Don't do that.
That was just for the people tuning in live.
In place of the man from the great state of Utah,
a new
we
improved
have
Mike Phillips.
A new improved. He is a lot more fit than Mike Phillips because he's host of the Fitcast.
And the rest of us combined.
Oh yeah, and host of Back in My Play. More importantly, excellent retro podcast, Mr. Kevin Larrabee. Hello.
How you guys doing? It's great to be back.
It's good to have you back.
That is one hell of a microphone, my friend.
That is.
Yeah, this is the Blue Yeti. It's a great upgrade because also if I'm not like part of the conversation, I can always hit a mute button that's on the front, and that way, there are no, rustling of papers or the Neo Geo Pocket Color sounds coming through the microphone.
Oh.
But you see, that's what we find out when Phil's going on about Dynasty Warriors. You can play some Neo Geo Pocket Color and.
I'll do my best Mike impression.
I can't wait to play Hyrule Warriors, though. It looks like one of the best games I played in a long time. Love that One Piece game.
You hypocritical jerk.
No.
Yeah. All I can say is from past experience on Kevin's show, we're lucky we're not staring at his crotch right now.
No, I bumped the laptop up because the games and the Tokyo Drift poster I think is a much better background because of the Google Hangouts.
That's true.
Well, wait a second, no, because oh no, wait, that's the microphone. I got confused.
What? What?
The microphone looks like a.
What is happening? What is happening?
How many have you seen? Because it doesn't look like one at all.
Just mind that there was an accident when I was younger.
Phil needs to go to a urinologist.
Urinologist?
An analrapist.
Yeah.
All right. So should we talk about the Hyrule Warriors reviews? Because because those came out this week.
Yeah.
Which
Dynasty
I then
Warriors
thought
with
that the game was out on Friday. What is this thing with Nintendo where the embargo is a week
Yeah.
before the game comes out?
That's
That's
unusual.
just. Well, they did it for Tomodachi Collection too.
Well, maybe it's not
Tomodachi
unusual.
Tomodachi was terrible, by
Not
the way.
unusual.
Or I think they even did it for Mario Kart, where they had the reviews out a week before the game
Well,
came out.
maybe that's the new thing then.
Well, I don't like it. I don't like it because it gets me all hot and bothered to get on the eShop at midnight, and
Yeah.
what the hell? There's no Hyrule Warriors.
All that time wasted staring at your DS screen in the comfort of your own home.
Well, not my
Could be
DS,
it.
because Wii U.
Wii U. Ooh.
Yeah.
A long day.
So
Really.
what kind of reviews are you getting?
How was your trip?
Oh,
We
yeah.
didn't
I mean, that's the
We
first
didn't-
time back, isn't it?
get
Yeah.
any details on that. How was your Disney World vacation?
It was hot as a mother.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculously warm. But it was great. It was a good time.
That'll happen in the
Disney World.
South. Yeah.
I love
Did
Disney
you,
World. I love staying on the resort. That's the only way to do it.
Did you ride Splash Mountain?
I did. And so did
Okay.
my 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And he loved it.
Well, there you
I was
go.
pretty sure I was going to lose him on the drop, but
Yeah.
Define lose him.
well, okay, because
Throw them overboard.
that's
What's-
an old ride.
I mean, he
right?
was
And-
strapped in, right?
Well, that's actually what I was getting at. That's an old ride.
very
there
loose
aren't
seatbelts.
There's just
Oh.
the lap bar that comes down,
Yeah.
but it's one lap bar per row, and he was in a row with me. And I don't know if you know, but I'm a bit of a portly gentleman, and so the lap bar didn't come that far down
yeah.
with me in the row.
Oh, jeez.
My kid weighs about 30 pounds, so I was basically holding on to him down the drive.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Like my wife, if we go on any more rides like this where it's like one lap bar, he's sitting with you because
Why
otherwise he's
did
going
I
to go flying out of the ride.
Why did I eat all this greasy popcorn beforehand?
Curse my slow metabolism.
I was
that's the only-
thinking more the I was thinking more the greasy hands
Yeah.
because
Oh,
you
I see.
you'd be slipping out of your hands.
But anyway,
Yes.
no, it was great. It was awesome.
No?
And, yeah, even though it was ridiculously warm. We got caught in a couple of Florida thunder showers, which was cool.
Oh yeah.
Ran from head to toe. But it was a good time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now
Very
I'm playing
nice.
Magical World on the 3DS.
Oh,
You can
there you
relive
go.
your vacation through that magical DS game. Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to spend about $6,000 in the Lego store.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they got one of those there, huh?
They do.
How much
And of
did you
course,
end up spending?
They have everything. I bought like $20. I bought the Snowspeeder, the Star Wars Snowspeeder.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a nice kit.
That's a new set.
Yes,
just
it is.
came
It's
out,
like the new round of Star Wars sets.
Yeah.
Which
Which just came out like a couple weeks ago.
There's a B-wing and an X-wing and a new Star Destroyer. Oh, Daddy wants.
Yeah. The new Star Destroyer is pretty nice looking.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like 130 or something though. So
it is. Yeah, which is about $120 more than I'm allowed to spend on.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, shifting back to Hyrule Warriors, Phil, you were right. You were right. I hate to admit, I was wrong
What?
about the reviews.
You mean the most predictable prediction of all time was right?
apparently not.
People didn't rag on it for not being a real. Well, one outlet ragged on it
Yeah.
for being a Dynasty Warriors game,
Who was that?
but Polygon,
Who else?
Okay. Right.
they gave it a 6 out of 10.
No.
Wow.
And it was one of the shortest, reviews on the web are generally pretty long, right?
Yeah.
Because they want you to, look at all the screenshots and watch the video review, and then hopefully get more page views out of you. So they normally, although Polygon doesn't do this, continue on a second and third page. Polygon's is like one of the shortest reviews on the web I've ever seen. It's really short. And it basically just rags on everything Dynasty Warriors.
Wow. Of course it does.
It's repetitive.
Is there any evidence that they actually played the game?
Yeah. So there's
Okay.
slight evidence.
Okay.
I'm more curious whether or not there's any evidence that they actually played other Dynasty Warriors games.
Yeah, that's also true.
Oh, I think that is a definite no.
You know what? Here's a bit of helpful advice to anyone reading these reviews, and this goes for any Dynasty Warriors game. If any reviewer complains about the enemies just standing there and not doing anything, they dropped the difficulty down to easy and just probably stormed through a stage, maybe, because.
Which, by the way, I did on One Piece, of course, because the game. Well, I don't know if I think Hyrule Warriors does this too, because the Japanese version. I think I saw some people tweeting about that. It suggests that you play on easy.
Right.
At the load up when you're creating the save file.
Well, see, the thing is with the Dynasty Warriors games, the hard difficulties are actually pretty hard because there are a crap ton of dudes and they are all ganging up on you. So, especially with the license games, you're going to get a lot of people playing Hyrule Warriors or One Piece who have never played a Dynasty Warriors game before.
That's true.
And if they figure, I'll play on one of the higher difficulty levels, and they get immediately killed, that's going to turn them off. So
are you saying that if you're reviewing a game like Hyrule Warriors, you should not play it on easy, or?
Oh no, go ahead and play on easy, but
don't make that your complaint.
But then also know what you're talking about, right?
Right. It's feel free to play on easy. I play on easy most of the time just because that's more fun to me than having to restart levels over and over again because I'm getting killed.
Speaking of, but the Hyrule Warriors reviews, and I've called out game trailers a couple times in the past for the way they handle their racing, their big racing game reviews. When the import for Hyrule Warriors came out, they did like a little round table as well, and it was cool because it was at least one of the guys, maybe it was two of them, but it was at least one of the guys who was actually very familiar with the Musu game. Muso? What do you say that? Musu? Anyway, very familiar with Dynasty Warriors games.
It's mousy.
Mousy?
Mousy.
It's pronounced miso.
What I found really useful about that roundtable was he actually went into quite a bit of detail about what they'd changed to make it a little more accessible. So, like, he talked about what you would normally get in a Dynasty Warriors game, and then how this game was different outside of just the skin. Like, he said levels were relatively shorter, and
you're talking about a press outlet that actually does some research on.
That's what I'm saying, though, and that's what I really appreciated, because it's like the Dynasty Warriors games. It was always going to be a debacle because everyone shits on those games all the time, but nobody plays them. None of these reviewers actually play them. Right. So they just know that it's one of those series you're allowed to crap on because it's a big joke.
Yeah.
But that's what I really enjoyed about the way that, and this wasn't even their official review. This was just like a roundtable they did when the import came out. But I really appreciated.
Hyrule Warriors or racing games.
Hyrule Warriors.
Did this of Hyrule Warriors? Cool. All right.
Yeah. It was a nice way to handle it. It's like I don't care about Dynasty Warriors games. I have played some in the past, and by listening to this, I know why I should be excited about Hyrule Warriors. They made it more accessible for people like me, and here's how.
Yeah, yeah. Kevin, didn't you rebuy a Wii U recently?
Yeah, I mean, I've had one for. I bought one of those certified refurbished ones from Nintendo, which, by the way, is still the best deal. For $200, you get whatever the deluxe Wii U is, the black Wii U with a stand and all that stuff, plus Nintendo Land for $199, which is a fantastic deal.
Yes.
That's what it should cost.
I have two coworkers that bought the refurbs for that exact same reason, $200.
And same thing with my 3DS XL, the black one that I got. It was $135, and it was in brand new condition when I got it. It just came in a box that had a blue 3DS XL on it. That was the only real difference. But for me, I'm so interested. I love Zelda. I'm a huge Zelda fan. I'm still always before we started recording the show, I'm replaying A Link Between Worlds right now, just because even though I have limited time for games right now, that game is so good that I just if I have 30 minutes, 20 minutes, I just want to go play another dungeon in that game because it's so fantastic. And for me as a Zelda fan, like that's one of the biggest games for me growing up. With Hyrule Warriors, what I need to know from these reviews is if I don't care about Dynasty Warriors or those games never clicked with me, is there enough Zelda in there? Is there enough of the elements or of like whatever you want to call it, the fan service that will get me to drop $60 on this game? Is there enough there for me to just play it and enjoy it for the music and for the characters and things like that? And have you been looking at the reviews? What do you think about Hyrule Warriors? Are you going to pick that one up? For me, it's really a toss-up. It's one of those things where I don't know. But some Wii games, the price have been dropping, quite a bit. Like you can sometimes get games for like around $40 a couple months after they come out. And for right now, since I am kind of all over the place with work and for stuff like that, I don't even know if I'd have the time to play it if it did come out. But it's definitely going to be on my radar as something to, maybe if Christmas comes around, Black Friday deals come out, and it's around $40. I wouldn't mind having another thing to play on my Wii U.
Be right back.
Wow.
And with that,
Greg's had enough of your conversation.
No, Sega. No, Genesis, Dreamcast. Oh, come on. The original Pocket Color, that linked up with the Dreamcast. Come on, let's get him to come back. I got all this stuff right here.
I can't even bring him back. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was expecting me to talk about Sega because I'm always like trying to fight the Sega fight on back of my play because there's always so much Nintendo. I'm sorry, Greg. I couldn't do it.
Yes. All right. Well, we should probably talk about we can talk about some of this Retron 5 news that came out.
Oh, what's up with Retron 5?
Oh,
so
man.
It turns out that Hyperkin may have taken some of the source code from somebody else's retro emulator stuff and put it in the Retron 5. So that makes me very glad that I have one just in case anything happens and I'm not able to sell them again. And I have one, I don't have to worry about that.
Wow.
But not so good for Hyperkin.
That's unfortunate.
What's going on? I missed this. What happened to Hyperkin?
They apparently have lifted some source code from somebody else to put in the Retron 5.
Ruh-roh.
Some open source code that is not supposed to. It's like illegal to put it on a product that is available for sale.
Yeah.
And this is, again, I'm not.
I feel more and more justified for not supporting them.
I think it's still a good product. I think it's just a real bummer that it came out that they were that's stealing. Yeah. That's stealing.
Yeah.
And you're putting it on a product that you've sold at least, I don't know, maybe 10,000 units. They must have sold a bunch because they've been sold out on ThinkGeek and wherever you can possibly get them after being delayed for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Maybe it'll get more difficult to find them. Who knows?
But you even think like there's going to be any recourse from that because they're already selling a product that basically is, has a bunch of emulators on it. Do you think anyone's going to even come after them? Do you think even the person that made that code is going to go out of their way to have some legal action? I think it's just going to be bad press for them above anything else.
Yeah,
you're probably right. Yeah, that's how it's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. But oh well.
Buy a Framemeister.
Amen, brother.
No, those are expensive. No. I am happy that I can play Quackshot and Aladdin and all of the licensed games that are never going to be out on.
You're talking about the good version of Aladdin, right?
Yeah, it's got
I'm talking about the Genesis one. Yeah.
The Genesis, okay.
No,
good.
there's a support on that thing.
No, but I said the good version of Aladdin.
Right.
Yeah. I only have the
My
good
point.
version of Aladdin. I'm not.
No, you should get the Genesis one too. It's really pretty.
No, but Shinji Mikami, worked on Aladdin on the Super Nintendo, and he went on to make so many other great games. So all of his previous games are always fantastic, or something like that. I can forget what the argument is.
Yeah.
I like that.
He made that one game that people
what
liked.
the argument is.
Well, I think Aladdin for Super Nintendo is still great. They're two great games. They're two different great games. One's better than the other.
Sure, trying to be diplomatic about it.
Yeah.
We know the truth. The Sega Genesis version is the best.
If you like some Tommy Tallarico tunes, go for the Genesis version. If you like some more Capcom sounding, non-farty music, you go to the Super Nintendo version. Better animation on the I'm just kidding. I'm just.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone knows how I feel about the Genesis.
8-4 play poster in the background.
Oh, Genesis music is fantastic. That's a joke if people don't listen to the other show. I'm sorry.
Yes. All right, let's talk about the new Nintendo 3DS because Tokyo Game Show is going on, or went on last week.
It's going on. It did go on.
It did go on. It went on. And really, I didn't hear a lot of news out of that show. I don't know what it is. Like, Tokyo Game Show used to be a big event, and now I just feel like it sort of just exists, and people acknowledge that it started, and that's about all. And we don't get a lot of news out of it. But we did get impressions of the new Nintendo 3DS out of that, because I guess they were showing it off with Monster Hunter 4. And everyone was really giving it rave reviews, especially the camera control stick, Nubbin. Said, most people said it was really easy to use and felt good. So, I'm looking forward to the new 3DS. And on 8-4 Play, they mentioned the new 3D view angles being really good. So
that's the only thing I really care about. That's the one thing that might get me to pick one up. And just hand my XL down to my kids. Put it in the will. I mean, I'm not giving it to them right away. It's for when I die.
Of course not. But, yeah.
You're not interested in Xenoblade or just even it seems like a nicer looking console. I can't. Xenoblade's not the game that's going to sell me on that. I think the big bummer that no one's really talking about is that the battery life is exactly the same. The thing's still only going to get you about like 3.5 to maybe 5 hours of battery, depending on the brightness of the screen. Which for me, that's because I'm crazy. I like the new PlayStation Vita. It doesn't have it has a worse screen, I guess, if you want to say, compared to the OLED, but you get much better battery life. Like I got like 6 hours of battery life playing this thing on a plane, straight through on my last trip out, and that's one thing that I always consider. And then the other thing is the sound output on the 3DS XL is terrible. Like it's just really weak, and I like to have like nice pair of headphones, like a nice pair of studio headphones, and blast music like Link Between Worlds. Again, just use that as an example. The music, it is fantastic in it, and I have to like turn it up all the way, and I can still barely hear the music as loud as I want to. So I hope that is addressed, and if it is, day one purchase for me. I'm going to jump on board immediately.
Yeah. Battery life. It seems like one of those things where we're just not getting better, right? Like you really want a system that could last, if you wanted to play Link Between Worlds all the way through in one sitting and not have to plug it back in again, but it's not going to happen.
A little much.
Well, it's doing a ton. Like, if you think about the hardware, not only does it have a faster processor in it, but it's literally, to get that better 3D, it's like constantly tracking your eyes. So it is doing a lot. So, I mean, in a sense, it is probably pretty impressive, the amount of battery that they're getting out of all the stuff that it's doing at the time.
Yeah, I wonder what the battery life is if you turn off 3D and turn off Wi-Fi. And turn the screen brightness all the way down. Suddenly you get 10-hour battery life. That'd be great.
Suddenly you're talking like original Game Boy stats.
Yeah.
But even DS Lite, Lite, that thing got like 12 hours, 14 hours of battery life on that thing, and that screen was super bright.
Yeah, that's true.
Back in the day.
Wasn't doing anything else, though.
This Neo Geo Pocket Color gets 40 hours of battery life on 2 AA batteries. Like, remember that? 40 hours of batteries.
And clearly that particular feature made it soar to the top of the sales charts.
Yes.
No.
Gal Fighters got released. That's cool.
That's true.
That was a good game.
That's a really good game.
Japan got a Mega Man game out of it, so.
Was it any good?
Yeah. It was the fighting game, right?
It was a port of the 2 arcade games.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Battle and Fighters.
It's 2 great Metal Slug games on that thing. There's a fantastic version of the golf game that I can't.
Card Fighters Clash.
Everybody was into Card Fighters Clash.
Match of the Millennium. There's so many great games on that console, so it just needs a backlight.
It is a beautiful little game.
Yeah. All right, should we talk about what we've been playing? Because it sounds like, Kevin, you've been playing a hot new release called Castlevania Bloodlines.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
curious, by the
That's
way.
the first game I'm playing on the Extra Life Marathon.
Oh, yeah?
Curious,
Yeah.
by the way, if you have the original release or the Majesco re-release.
I actually have the original release, but I didn't have. I bought it without a box, so I made like one of those custom cases. And let me see.
Nice.
I can actually grab it.
And
All
off he
right.
runs to the shelf. This
It's
is where the
in the
video.
safe behind the Fast and Furious
Yes.
poster.
No, it's next to the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift poster, but these custom cases, it doesn't have that crappy cardboard box
Right.
that Majesco put on all like Contra Hardcore and stuff like that when they re-released the Konami games. But yeah, it is the original release, and that is just fantastic box art and cart label and stuff like that. But this is like the stepchild of the Castlevania franchise, through the 8 and 16-bit era. At least that's the sense that I got from listening to, whenever this game comes up or whenever it's like Super Castlevania. Like, I'd love to hear Mike's thoughts on this game, just because, he is a huge fan of Super Castlevania, and he's going to be on the show to talk about that at some point. But, when it comes to this game, I played a lot of Super Castlevania 4. I found this game to be absolutely fantastic because it is like the real Castlevania 4. Like, if they made another Castlevania on the Famicom or the NES and just had, like a little bit extra, or even in the sense of like what they could do on the Turbo Graphics or something like that, I just thought it was really good, just because there's so much variety in this game, from the enemies to how the levels are broken up. Like, some levels will have 11 different sections to them. Like, you'll go to 5-11, and there's going to be so many different things throughout the levels. And at the same time, you get 2 characters to start, and the music is fantastic. If you think Genesis music is bad, listen to this soundtrack. It is fantastic. It's from the composer that brought us Symphony of the Night soundtrack.
Yes.
Like, it is. It's super good, and also at the same time, it has remixes, like Genesis versions of some classic tracks like Bloody Tears and Simon's Theme, Vampire Killer, from the previous games that are unlockable at the option screen if you power up and stuff like that. So I was surprised. I didn't think this game was going to be very good, because everyone says it's like kind of just a knockoff. Like, Sega wanted a Castlevania game, and this is what they got. But think about how Sega got some support from Konami, but it was always Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time versus Hyperstone Heist, Contra Hardcore versus Contra 3. Then you have Super Castlevania versus Castlevania Bloodlines, and a lot of people will say that the Genesis versions are worse. But I could even say like Hyperstone Heist is just as good as Turtles in Time. There's some really good stuff going on in there, and if Contra Hardcore wasn't so goddamn hard, that would probably be a pretty good
the Japanese version.
Exactly. So it's great.
That's true. But that's one of the things that I really loved about, just to get into this a little bit. But there was a really nice run there from Konami where you had like Rocket Knight Adventures and Bloodlines and Hardcore, and then I can't remember which one of those games, but the people who made up Treasure, I believe, were involved in some of those games as well. So then you had like Gunstar. I always sort of grouped Gunstar Heroes in with them as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like they were these great action games that were totally different than anything else that was done by Konami on the Super Nintendo. And they were doing all these really cool graphic effects. They were really pushing the system and doing different things with it in all those games, stuff that you really hadn't seen on the Genesis. So there's always some great stuff from
and there's decapitations in this game. There was crazy atmosphere, and just with the music and the graphics, like, this is stuff that still at that era, like, Nintendo seemed to want to still censor that stuff, but you could decapitate one of these enemies and there'd be blood spurting out from its neck. Like, that is pretty violent for a game that, by the way, is rated GA for general audiences. Sega of America. So great job, Sega of America,
Good
on
stuff.
this game.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I just like how
early days of ratings
Konami,
boards.
Konami gave us 2 versions of Tiny Toons, so that was. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They did.
Yeah, Buster Bust Loose on the SNES, which is an outstanding game.
Best part of the early '90s. You weren't just getting the same games on both systems.
That's right. And then you had another fantastic Tiny Toons platformer on Genesis.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you like Castlevania, just to give Kurt Kalata's Hard Gaming 101 book a plug,
Yes.
this book is for $15. Like, it's all color, and it's fantastic book, like an encyclopedia of Castlevania. So it's on Amazon. I recommend it highly.
I actually just ordered that today.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I'm thinking about grabbing that too.
And actually, it's really nice if you order it on Amazon. You can get it for $15, but then Amazon has this, was it Matchbook? I think is their new service. Well, relatively new service where if you own a physical copy of a book, you can get the ebook version for
nice.
severely discounted price. So, yeah, I got the physical book is on its way, but I was able to pick up the ebook version for $2. So
I keep meaning to pick up their Sega arcade book too.
yeah, the Sega book's really good too.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten around to it.
Definitely is. Yeah.
Cool. So where do you stand on Dracula X for the Super Nintendo? Because I think that is coming out on the Virtual Console this week.
Didn't it come out last week?
No, they announced that it was
they
coming
announced
out
it. Right.
Yeah.
this week.
Well, you can get Rondo of Blood on the Wii Virtual Console. So
Yeah.
I would just boot up that Wii shop and just get that.
Get that instead.
So
Yeah.
Castlevania Double X or Dracula X is it's not good. It sounds kind of crappy for a Super Nintendo game, and also they took some levels out, and they also removed things like his death animation is just way, it's way worse. So
I wonder why the heck that version even happened. Like what?
Yeah.
What was the impetus behind doing that?
Super Famicom was super
Taking advantage
popular.
of the most popular system at the time.
I guess you're probably.
I mean,
Well, the PC Engine.
I don't run a Fortune
was
500 company or anything, but
was no slouch in that, right? I mean,
not worldwide.
well, you're right. I guess you're right.
It was the weirdest thing when that first came out on the SNES. I had no idea that game even existed until I saw it at like a video store one day for rent. Just out of nowhere, I was looking at SNES games. I was like, what is this Castlevania game that isn't Super Castlevania 4?
Well, they didn't promote it, and there's no
No.
copies of it. Like, they printed super low quantities of that game, so even if you want to get it today, like the North American version is like $200+. It's stupid to buy it.
Yo, I know a guy who has it.
Yeah, new sealed next to your House of the Dead copy or something like that.
I don't have that House of the Dead anymore.
Yeah, now you can send your
Sold that.
That's how Phil paid his mortgage for the next 2 years.
No, my Castlevania X is cart only. I'm afraid.
Oh, then it can only get you like one night in a nice New York hotel.
That's fine.
So you've been playing Bloodlines. Anything else, Kevin?
Yeah, actually, I'm a huge Vita fan. I will, that's probably my number one console right now, just because it's pick up and play. And Velocity 2X is absolutely fantastic. If you are not playing this game and you have PlayStation Plus, you need to drop what you're doing and at least give this game 15 minutes, because right off the bat, like, the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic, and it is a huge evolution of what they did in Velocity. Like, I played it, I bought Velocity on one of those sales for like $1.50 or something like that, and it's pretty good. But the what they did to help evolve the series in 2X with the side-scrolling action platforming throughout the game, where you'll jump out of your ship and you'll go inside a facility and you'll start blasting things up, fighting enemies, and then destroying like a shield generator, and then jumping back into your ship, and then continuing to go on. Is just a blast. And of course, if you haven't played Danganronpa, I just finished that last week, and that is super weird, but
Super weird.
that's not up my alley. I don't play graphic novels or anything like that, but that game is absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend you playing it.
Like nothing else you'll ever play on
No.
anything. It's so weird.
And it's got
And
that
the
like
sequel just came out too. The sequel just came out on Vita.
Yeah, I'm saving that for my flight to Japan. But the series is very much you get into this after like an hour. You get to like break in, but after an hour, like it is like 24, or like a series like Lost, where you're like, oh my god, I need to see. I can't believe that just happened. I need to see what's going to happen next. And just with the crazy characters, just great localization, great voice acting, and great writing. It is just it's super weird. I'm just happy like the Vita is home to like stupid crap like this that is just a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, it's like the Vita is becoming that place now in this generation, just because no one's gonna be making
Happy
that
place.
stuff for PS4 and Xbox One. Like that ship has sailed. So now it's like the Vita or nothing.
Yeah, and there's still, lots of, like, it's just because it is such an easy platform to pick up and play, but also I've been playing a lot of, oh crap, what's it called? Phantom Breaker, which is a side-scrolling beat-em up with...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this game is...
I picked it up, yeah.
Okay, this game is fantastic, and it is something that you can replay over and over and over again. You unlock new guys to play as and special moves and things like that. And you're fighting through like Japan. It is super cool, just because it is. I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like Fatal Fury, where you have two planes and you have all these special moves that you can beat up all these enemies, gigantic sprites. It's for retro gamers like people like us, I guess.
Reminded me of Guardian Heroes a bit.
There you go. Yeah.
As
Interested.
I was talking last week, and CJ was like, "Oh, Guardian Heroes sucks."
Guardian Heroes. I never got into it. Sorry.
That's in my notes, actually.
Sorry. Yeah.
You
never
guys,
got into that one.
I want you both to know you did a terrible job last week.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Because of CJ, I got a ton of friend requests on PSN.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Of course you did.
I had no idea what was going on until
I did too. I suddenly got a lot of people hitting me up on the PSN.
And
Hello.
you reduced
Saint Cinnamon.
the Mighty Dreamcast's 15th anniversary to a stupid Seaman joke that you've used on the show 3 times already.
Yes.
We said we would circle back around when we had you on the show.
And then on top of that, CJ says he didn't like Guardian Heroes. Like, I don't even know you guys anymore.
That's just ridiculous.
I'm kind of with CJ on that. It doesn't click with me.
What?
Didn't click.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you're liking
play Contra, man.
If you're liking Phantom Breaker, you should go back to Guardian Heroes with that sort of mindset.
No, you shouldn't.
Yes, you should.
No.
Yes.
Don't
listen
do
to
it.
CJ.
Don't do it. I need somebody on my
You should be playing Guardian Heroes multiplayer. You should be playing Guardian Heroes multiplayer.
Yeah, that's also true.
Really the way to play it.
Yeah. Kevin, I have a question for you concerning Phantom Breaker.
How's it going? What's up?
Well, it's fine. How are you?
I mean, I'm missing the Night of Champions on WWE Network right now.
I'm sorry.
It's for a great reason.
I'm sorry. I will hurry. Did you happen to pick up the DLC for Phantom Breaker?
Well, to be fair, I got. I mean, if we want to be fair, I actually got a code from the publisher for review on back of my play, so I did get the DLC.
I see. Okay,
Bought
now this
and
is
paid for.
Yeah. You hear that, Gamergate? Do you hear that?
Wait. Are you part of Game Journal Pro?
This is so funny because all this stuff started happening, and I started thinking and I'm very transparent in my reviews, and I say that I got that code from a publisher, and I did not give it 5 stars. I will say that I gave it like 4 or something like that because there are some issues with the online, but I did get the DLC, but the problem is I think it automatically installed, so I might not know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I was wondering how much, because the DLC is like $5 or $6.
For the extra characters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not necessarily cheap, but I was wondering how much gameplay that added, or is it just like a new dude to go through the game with? But
it's a new dude with different moves. I mean, to be honest, like I wouldn't have spent the $5 to get the DLC. No.
Okay.
I mean, if you really love it and you're like, man, I just played through this game with all these guys and I'm gonna play online and I don't want to have the same guy as the 3 other people I'm playing with, then sure. But
okay.
I probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, it's a cool game though.
Totally.
I do really enjoy it. I do enjoy it. Yeah. CJ.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
Yo.
Did you want to talk about the Dreamcast 15th anniversary?
Not at all.
What we should do is set aside a week to do a big Dreamcast retrospective. Have we done one of those? Have we done a Dreamcast show?
I don't remember.
We should do that though.
Hey, there's a great article on US Gamer though, by Jeremy Parrish with quotes from yours truly. But it was really well written. It was cool because he took the angle of what if the Dreamcast had survived.
Mm.
And he was basically asking some
Yeah.
people what they thought. It was a mixture of like, okay, what did you think of it, and when it was, when it was actually happening, but do you think it could have survived, and what would have happened if it did?
So is it like fan fiction?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Alternate history.
Yeah.
Does that also then mean if the Dreamcast had survived that Sega didn't go third party, or does it go into that at all?
I think
Because
the general.
Dreamcast
I know that my
effectively
answer
killed.
was. I mean, I don't know what everyone else told him. I know my answer was that I don't think it would have survived, even if it would have taken so many decisions that happened years before the Dreamcast was even released would have to be reversed for the Dreamcast to survive. Because even though the hardware was there and everything, if they hadn't voluntarily killed it, I think Sega just would have run itself right into the ground. So, yeah, I think it would have been dead within a year either way.
Dumb question. Do you think if Half-Life made it, do you think if the Dreamcast made it, so Half-Life would actually get released, do you think that would have made any difference to be able to play that thing on a home console? Besides the PS2, which I guess is kind of like...
Because it came out on the PS2 anyway, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Might have mattered if EA had done sports games.
That would have been huge. That was one of the things that I pointed out in my answers, actually.
EA Sports games are garbage at that era. Like, if you look, no, I'm serious. Like, if you look at NFL 2K, NBA 2K, NHL 2K, and even the baseball game that they had, the World Series baseball, all four of those were absolutely fantastic. And I went out of my way, even if I had a PS2, I sold my PS2 and I bought that. They had like a $99 sports bundle. They were clearancing those things out for $99.
Dreamcast.
The Black Dreamcast with World Series 2K1, NBA 2K1, and NFL 2K1, and that with the online play. Like if you had SegaNet, which I did, and I like subscribed to that thing, got my free keyboard. Like that was the most amazing thing ever. So EA games like, and if Madden was not very
what
good.
the problem was, and this is the thing that I think people forget, because I agree with you. I totally agree with you, and the EA sports games at that point, especially the ones I cared about, were not as good as the 2K games in general. But EA was more than sports games.
That's
And
true.
the other
but also Madden and their other sports games were so entrenched. It's kind of like now people just automatically buy Madden, and that may be like the one game they buy all year along with.
And the other problem
EA.
was, like back then, right? Activision wasn't as big as it is now. Ubisoft wasn't as big as it is now. EA was the American third party, and they were trendsetters. And if EA wasn't supporting the console, kind of,
Forget about it.
1 foot in the grave.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But it was a bummer. It sucked. But there it is.
What do you think? Like, if the Dreamcast had been successful, would the next platform have continued VMUs?
Color VMUs, man. Color VMUs. Get 16 colors on that thing. Oh man, you could play like a real shitty version of Sonic with like 40 pixels.
I don't see a downside to that.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that would be the one. That would be the good. That's what you could put in that article on how Sonic games are bad. That one on the VMU, the color VMU, was not very good. So.
What about the memory card they had that had 4 slots or whatever, and had to have a separate button on the side to switch
I've got that.
slots?
That's actually
I
what
got that
I've been
too.
playing the Dreamcast lately, and that's what I've been using.
The 4X.
I'm probably crazy because mine was sealed up until about 2 weeks ago.
What?
Wow! Whoa! That's crazy.
So
You can still get
I'm
like
afraid to
sealed
look on eBay
VMUs
and
for
see
super
what
cheap.
yeah, I'm afraid to look on eBay and see what I gave up. But
I still have the fishing controller sealed.
I still have the
waiting for that to pop on
broadband
eBay.
modem sealed.
Wow.
Oh shit! You do?
Yeah.
Damn. You
Whoa,
could put that up on eBay and get some House of the Dead 3 money for
Hell
that.
Yeah.
yeah. Played some Quake this weekend, man. What are we doing? Let's play some Quake 3. Pick that up at server.
Hey, I loved Quake 3 Arena on the Dreamcast. Was great.
All 4 players.
Really good.
It was 60 frames per
Really
second.
good.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you turn that off and turn on Speed Doubles Online, and
Oh, baby.
do that all night.
Hurt me.
Or Phantasy Star Online, which, oh my god, I sunk so many hours into that game.
See, did you like the Phantasy Star games that came after that? I know there's a couple on the PSP. Did those ever connect with you like the ones on the Dreamcast did?
No. No,
So
not
there's just
really.
no magic in that series at all anymore. I know they talked about some at TGS.
I mean, I think the magic of the originals for me was that I knew 4 other people who were playing
Yeah.
it every single night.
Okay.
So the PSP games may be able to recreate some of that, but I don't know anyone else who's playing it, so that kind of cuts that off. I think most of the people that enjoyed that game that I knew dropped off after Phantasy Star Universe, unfortunately.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, I did play a lot of the DS game that they put out, though. That was really good. I thought that was really good, but and that was online just with randoms. You could just play with random people, and it was a lot of fun.
On the DS?
Random Hagil, or
Yeah, on the DS.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, it was fun. All right, hey Greg, did you play anything on your week-long excursion? There, did you
one
bring
of the things I
along
didn't put
3DS?
on the list here, actually, but I figured you would have been raving about last week, was TXK for the PSP. Sorry, for the Vita.
I think I mentioned it, didn't I?
You? I didn't.
That it was
listen
on.
episode.
That it was PS Plus game.
Yes,
I definitely mentioned it recently.
that is a nice game.
That is a
Mhm.
fantastic
I mean,
game.
it's just 2000, but
I played a bunch of that on the plane out to Penny Arcade.
yeah, that was pretty much the only game I played on the plane to and from Florida.
Oh.
Yep.
You know,
It was a damn fine game. You
Loves
can
it.
play it for a long friggin' time.
Yeah.
I would do like sessions
Yeah.
of that game last for quite a while
It's
If
a
you're
great
highly
memory.
skilled like CJ and I.
if you're good at it. Yeah.
Let me tell you though, what I really enjoyed this week was that Forza Horizon 2 demo.
Yeah, tell us. I played a little bit of it too. First of all, 10 gigs for a demo.
But that demo's huge.
Yeah.
Welcome to the all-digital future.
10 gigs?
You can imagine how big the actual game's going to be.
Yeah, seriously.
But it's a large demo. I mean, it's got like a full intro, and then I think 4
Yeah,
events.
probably half of that is the high definition video for that intro.
Yeah, exactly. It's got 4
5 gigs
events.
on its own.
It's got a bunch of songs, like the radio stations are active.
3 of them. 3 of them.
Well, I think there were only 3 radio stations in the previous game. There weren't a ton of stations in those games. You're basically picking like one of 3 or 4 soundtracks, and then you're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a great demo because, like I said, it's got a ton of stuff in there. That there were like 3 events with weather changes, and then an intro event, an extra event, and then I think you can play online in that demo as well.
Yes, you can.
Test some of the online modes. So, and it's a big chunk of the landscape that you've got access to. And man, that game just looks gorgeous.
It really
It looks
does.
so good.
My wife even commented on how good the game looked when I booted it up.
And it's like got this rock solid frame rate.
Yeah.
I think whatever group that is that does all the testing for like frame rate and resolution and everything, it says it's like 1080. It's true 1080p and it's locked at 30 frames a second.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's impressive when you consider, because it's a lot of the off-road stuff. I mean, you're hitting a ton of objects when you're going off-road game, and it doesn't even hiccup. It stays solid the whole time.
Yeah, the off-road stuff is cool. At this point, every driving game that comes out makes me miss Burnout. Because at the beginning, I'm terrible at these games and always crash into things, and it's like, well, if this was Burnout, I'd be rocking up some points there.
Oh, for God's sake. Sad. But playing it, nice. Playing it also reminded me of one of the things that I loved about the last Horizon game, and I said this on our show before, is that like especially the Need for Speed series and a lot of other free roaming games have been so caught up in the whole like illegal street racing, running from the cops, and all that stuff, and there's none of that in the
This one's all
Horizon
about
series.
a rave that also happens to have some racing.
Exactly. But it's nice because you don't need to worry about like huge crashes, and you don't need to worry about now this race is over, but I don't get my frickin' bonus until I outrun the police, and like you don't get caught up in any of that crap that so many of the other games are so bogged down in at this point. Like you literally just driving around this beautiful landscape and racing, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, if it offers you any additional stuff, it's like, here's your rival. Do you want to try to beat their time on this event? Like that's
or jump into this super fast car and go through a speed trap at a really high speed, like just little things like that, or deliver it across the map or something. So I can't wait. It's still like I've been saying it's my most anticipated game of the year, and playing that demo just solidified that. Like,
what about Drive Club?
Wait.
What about Drive Club?
Drive Club could be really good. And apparently, I haven't checked it yet, but apparently they laid out their DLC plans already. They're being totally open with what you can expect. So I hope it's good. I'm not gonna jump into the season pass on that right away, but I do have the game pre-ordered. But I don't know anything about it yet. Like I really need to sit down and play it and see if I like the feel of it.
Yeah.
But I know I'm gonna love Horizon. I figured I'd love Horizon 2, and now I know I am. Like the Playgrounds people they do great work, and it looks like this is gonna be better than the last one, and the last one was one of my favorite games of that generation.
Just like watching you stream it on Twitch, that game is unbelievable looking. It made me go and look and see if there are any Xbox One deals right now. It is because that might be. I'm a huge Burnout fan too, and I can never get into the simulation racing games. Like I'll never play a Gran Turismo or anything like that. But Forza Horizon it might be the best looking game I've seen on a next gen console. It just looks looks really unbelievably good, and it's a beautiful game to look at. Just like the landscapes and stuff like that. Background, seeing like the mountains and stuff like that I'm like, wow. I mean, I know car games are always going to look great, but this just looks unbelievably good.
Yeah, and it makes you, it gives for the inevitable Forza 6, because obviously Turn 10 is they're releasing this game, but it's done by Playground Games, but it uses the Turn 10 engine, and like this game proves like you can do dynamic weather really well in that engine. The dynamic lighting is really nice. There's a time-lapse video on there for 24 hours where somebody just sits still and lets the 24-hour cycle happen. I think it's like in 5 minutes. It looks great. Like they could add all that stuff to the next Forza game too, and I really hope that they do, because they have a great product and they actually have a great engine, and the system can do it if you have the time, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I can't wait for it to come out. Very excited.
It looks like a fun game that's not up its own butt like a lot of racing games, and that's what turns me off. I'm serious, that turns me off of a lot of stuff, and it looks like it's just, I'm going to get in a car, I'm going to have a lot of fun, and that's even like the latest Need for Speed games. Like those were almost a little, not difficult, but they were just like a little bit too serious, like you said, Greg, like getting chased by cops and just like constantly, in like almost dark Call of Duty like environments that you're bike racing in. No, I want to just go chill out, man. I want to go have some fun, like going 250 miles per hour in this, city, or just like this, in Horizon's case, like this beautiful landscape.
Yeah, and exactly, and because with EA and the Need for Speed games, and I mean, some people like those, and that's great, but they've wrapped all these game mechanics around that stuff now too, and it's gotten just so bogged down by it. And even things in Horizon where you're not worried about car damage. I mean, there's visual damage on the cars, but that at the end of the race you're not going to have to go pay 10,000 credits to fix your car or any of that crap. Like it's really really basic, and it works.
Although it's not stopping Microsoft from selling a bunch of DLC launch day stuff.
Oh, they will, and that's a Forza thing. I mean, they've been doing that since like number 2 on the 360. But yeah, I'm not going to jump into that because
that's just a thing that happens nowadays in games, right? Did we lose Greg?
I think he's using that broadband adapter. He's using that tree. Oh no!
Excuse me, I was having this car 25 bucks.
Oh,
he's back.
Or maybe.
What happened there?
We lost you for a second. I think your wife put on another episode of Weeds, and we lost you.
Oh no. Anyway, what I was saying, the recording's going to be all screwed up now. I was having this conversation with a friend of mine last night where I used to buy the season pass for these games all the time. But the thing was, I ended up spending like $30, and I'd have like 35 cars I never drove in the game. So I'm not going to do that. Like with Forza 5, I've bought I think 2 DLC cars for like $2 a piece or $3 a piece, but I've actually used them. So money well spent. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on it too much longer because I'm just going to gush more and more about it. And when the game
doesn't it come out this week or is it next week?
I think it's the 30th.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
And then otherwise, all I've been playing is Destiny.
How much Destiny have you played?
Most of what I've played with you, so you know how much I've played.
Not much, in other words.
No.
So you said you didn't really play any of the beta. What has been your impression then of the full game experience?
I really like it because I'm not really an MMO guy and I'm not really a hardcore shooter guy, but I really enjoy Halo, especially the Bungie versions of Halo. And this feels like sort of Halo with nice social network features. I like being able to get the gear, but I'm not grinding right now. I feel like at these lower levels, it's really friendly, and I love that the missions are really short.
Yeah, most of them are, especially if you do patrols. They're extremely short, but the strikes are a little bit longer.
I've heard that. But honestly, I'll never get to the point where I'm playing those.
You will.
Yeah, probably not.
If they have them for every difficulty level, or the first one you do, I think, is level 4, so you'll be fine. Okay. You'll do one at some point. But yeah, yes. I like that you log in and you can have your fire team open and 2 other people join you and help you out with the campaign. I also am not a hardcore shooter fan. I'm not playing this game to hit the level cap or get awesome loot. I really don't care. I'm playing the game for fun, and Phantasy Star Online. To go back to that, I played the same levels over and over and over again. I knew exactly which areas those Rappies were going to pop up and shoot across the landscape at. I still enjoyed the hell out of that game for hours and hours and hours, and I feel the same way about Destiny. It plays like Halo. It plays really well. I have a lot of fun playing it, and even if the enemies pop up at regular intervals out of the same locations, it's fine. It's just, that's what it's there for, right? When we were playing, I think I said it's like Disney World for first-person shooters. It's like you just run around this park and things happen at 2-minute intervals.
If you were to go on a shooting rampage at Disney World, that's exactly what it's like. Is that what you're saying? Or I didn't get that comparison.
But it's it's just a ton of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And
yeah, me too. But I
think you'll find, especially since we gave out our PSN names, and I'm getting a ton of friend requests. The password is cinnamon. You'll find that that you have 10 pages of people who are playing Destiny at any one time. One night, I think it was last night actually, I had something like 50 people or 70 people on my friends list all playing Destiny. Online at that
totally
time.
Feels like back when the 360 came out. Remember, the whole community would move from one game to the next at the same time?
Yes, exactly.
360.
Lost Planet's out.
Yeah, Lost Planet, exactly.
Yes. Dead Rising's out.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like that right now, because you're right. I'll turn it on, and my friends list is just full of people playing Destiny.
Yeah. Can't wait for Crackdown 3. Man, that just made me remember.
It's
coming.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That'll be...
Yeah.
In 3 years or whenever it's released.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the expectation out of this game, I was thinking about it today because a lot of people are like, oh, there's not enough content. The reviews on it have been a little bit low and have knocked it for content. But I think it's getting harder and harder now to start from scratch. You have these very established series like Halo and Madden and GTA and whatnot that sort of have a template and can build off of that. If you're starting from nothing, I think it's harder to get that sort of critical mass and have enough content to satisfy players who were used to having a lot more on launch.
It's the Assassin's Creed thing, right? Like, but is it worth delaying that game for another year, putting another $100 million into it, and then having whatever Destiny 2 would be the first one, like what Nintendo used to do, make Super Mario Brothers 3 and then say, F it, throw it out, and then start all over and just use the great stuff that they had from that build. You just can't do it anymore. It's too expensive.
Yeah, way too expensive. Yeah. But I hope Bungie does well with the game. It's clearly, it doesn't matter what the review scores were. People are playing the hell out of it.
Yeah.
We'll see if it has legs to last into 2015. The time limited events that they have going sound pretty cool. Anyway, I'm probably never going to do any of those, but they sound good. Like the raid that they had this past week that took the first team that beat it finished it in 11 hours. It took them 11 hours to beat it.
See, I'll never do that.
No,
that's just not in the cards.
No, but I have stayed up late a couple of times just playing Destiny with people from my friends list. It is a ton of fun. Anyway, what else had you played?
That pretty much covers it. I played some NHL 15, but you guys don't want to hear about that. So,
how bad is it?
It's disappointing.
Missing features.
It's missing a ton of features, and the on ice. I do see some of the differences, but it still has a lot of the same things that irritated me for the last few years, like the same little issues that I have, and I'm saying this as someone who loves the NHL games. I really enjoy them, but there's been little issues with like the passing and the defending and the goalies and stuff like that for years, and they haven't really changed. They're all still there, and the penalty calling's broken, and the new commentary is terrible. The old
It's the only
commentary
show
was
in town,
terrible.
though, right? Like you're gonna have to.
But it's the only show in town.
That's it.
And exactly, and I really feel like, especially with what they've done this year, and maybe this is me overreacting, but I feel like that series is sort of on its heels, and I don't want it to disappear because I just don't see another company picking up the NHL franchise and running with it. I want EA to continue just because I'm afraid that the alternative is not to have one, and that would suck.
Yeah.
So I want to support it. It needs work, but I'll be interested to see if they actually bother doing it.
Alrighty. Phil, you want to tell us about what you've been playing?
Well, I have not been playing much this past week. I've still been sucked into Rogue Legacy.
Yeah.
I think last time we talked, I had finished the
Legacy?
game. Yes. I was playing New Game Plus. I finished New Game Plus, and you were right. There is a
plus.
well, actually, it's +2.
Oh, okay.
It's New Game +2. Yes. And I soon found out that there's a New Game +3 as well. So I'm wondering how far it goes.
You're just gonna keep on keeping on with it, huh?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm at least I'm trying to max out my stats, which I'm getting actually fairly close to doing in all categories. But yeah, I just defeated one boss in New Game +3, so
Damn.
we'll see how
That's
far
a lot
it goes.
of pluses.
Yeah,
Really
I really love that game though, and
Kevin,
I'll tell you what.
have you played that game?
It's $16.99. It's above my PlayStation Vita buy rate, and I didn't jump
but
in on the
you-
PlayStation Plus. I like
You're into Castlevania stuff. This is kind of like Castlevania, right?
it is, but from what I've seen, it looks really great. But I have literally, it's just the great thing about PlayStation Plus is you get a bunch of free games. The bad thing about PlayStation Plus is you get all these free games, and I'm not gonna pay full price for a game. I bought Murasaki Baby this week just because I remember seeing it at whatever it was that European game show last year, and I'm like, I'm an idiot and I want to support the Vita, so I'm gonna buy that game, and it's super weird. It's kind of cool, but I don't really. It's not at the top of my list to play right now. I downloaded Ys 1 and 2, and I would like to get to that at some point. I wanted to get to all this other stuff that I haven't even played yet, just because 64 gigs is a lot of space, man.
I will.
Yeah,
I will
I'm still on a 32 gig. I gotta
Yeah.
clean out the fridge just to download some of this PS Plus stuff.
I'm letting it slide because you're going to be playing in Ease 1 and 2, so that's okay.
Did you give up on Salsetta, Phil?
You know what? I need to get back to it. I have so many games I need to get back to. But
You keep playing Rogue Legacy over and over again.
I know that's the problem. Well, it's you know what? Rogue Legacy is a fantastic portable game.
What do you get out of New Game Plus? What's new about it?
Just more challenging. Enemies are harder. Actually, that particular game has a few kind of stock enemies, and then there are different levels of them. There's like the weak skeleton, and then the slightly stronger skeleton, and then the crazy, insane, he will kill you right away skeleton. And playing the game normal, you may only face the highest level enemy in each class maybe once or twice throughout the game, but in the higher classes, suddenly that's like the common enemy. So, yes. And part of me, now that I'm like very close to maxed out and used to fighting all these super difficult characters, I want to be able to take my maxed out dude back to the original quest and just see how easily I can walk through it. But I don't know if the game's going to give me that option.
I don't think that's an option. No.
That's unfortunate, yeah. And the other thing I got this week was I picked up on a lot of Steam sales going on this week on like Humble Store and stuff like that. I picked up Luftrausers.
Luftrausers.
Which I've Lambier. I've been wanting to play that for a while.
Also available on the Vita, right?
Yeah, and PS4. I'm sure it's probably cross-buy, right? And actually, I believe right now it's in the current Humble Bundle as well. Which, the current Humble Bundle is amazing. I don't know if you have seen what is in it, but it's like just the kind of default couple of games that you get. It's what is it? Well, it's SteamWorld Dig and Gunpoint, and what's the other game? I forget the other game, but it's another game.
By the way,
yeah.
Speaking of SteamWorld
Hammerwatch. Yes.
Because we haven't spoken about that game enough on this show.
SteamWorld Dig is awesome.
SteamWorld Dig is great. Yes.
Okay.
It is. Trust me. Well,
yes.
You played it, right?
I finished it.
No. Yeah.
Yep. Great game.
We don't need to listen to your opinion on it because I think
we don't want to hear that again.
Great game. Great game.
It's a great game. Did you see that Image and Form announced SteamWorld Heist?
Yes, the like real-time strategy game.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested. Just because SteamWorld Dig was so good, now I'm interested in Heist, which I probably normally would not be with the genre that it is, but SteamWorld. So
continuing the changing genres for each game.
Yeah.
Because
I like that though. I like that.
The original.
Which genre was that again?
The original one was a tower defense game. That was a 3DS. Or actually, no, it wasn't even 3DS. It was just the ye old DS eShop game. There was a SteamWorld Tower Defense, and then they went for the Castlevania style digging thing, and now a little real-time strategy. So, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Yes, indeed.
But Luftrausers is fun. I'm enjoying that one. Yeah, it's odd because it has kind of the sensibilities of an iOS game, in that it's got a lot of different missions you can that you have to accomplish. Like go defeat X number of enemies or get X score in one game, that sort of thing. And you get stars, or I think it's skulls, in this one for different numbers of skulls for beating each of the little submissions, and that unlocks new parts for your plane and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
very much like your. Let me put it in terms you would understand. Robot Unicorn Attack 2.
Okay.
Robot Unicorn Attack 2.
It plays exactly like that.
You can
mini goals.
solve the
We're
mission.
talking about
So it's
goals.
that kind of a goal tree that you have to
I'm with you.
fight your way through. And it's a fun little game. It reminds me sort of Time Pilot, if you remember Konami's
Hell yes.
classic Time Pilot. Yes,
But with something constantly pulling you down, though.
yes.
That's the only thing I had problems
Yes.
with is that whole thing of just like having to, deal with your momentum while at the same time
Okay.
accelerating and then shooting with another stick and stuff like that. But it is a cool game, and I played that on a flight that Rami was on that I saw as I got off the plane going to Ireland, and then I tweeted to the dude. I'm like, I think Rami, was just on my flight. He's like, yeah, dude, where are you going? And unfortunately, he was connecting, and I was in Dublin, which is still pretty nice.
Yeah.
Which is a fun, weird thing. I think it was right after PAX East. That's when I had to go to Ireland.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, it's a fun game.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Indeed.
Actually, I was digging the gravity part of the game once I kind of got the hang of it.
Yeah.
Just because it's very fun, very satisfying to just sort of fly up in the sky, blasting dudes along the way, and then just sort of let go of the controller and let yourself fall, and just blast everything on your way down, and then hit the water and zoom under a boat and be blasting it while you're underwater, and then splash back out of the water and head back up and stuff like that.
Have you played Gravity Crash Ultra?
I have not.
I would check that out. That's also on the PlayStation Vita, and I think it's like $10, and that is like a crazy mix between Geometry Wars and obviously it's zero G, so it's kind of like if you've seen videos of Galaxy, it has kind of those aspects, but with Geometry Wars graphics and stuff like that. It is a really cool game, and it's one of those things you can just play a mission a day, and then jump back and forth through games. So I really recommend checking that out. It's really cool.
Okay.
If you see it on a sale or something like that, but like I said, it's only $10. Whatever.
Yeah. No. That's a little more than my budget for Vita.
You could get 20 copies of that game for just selling your Castlevania X. You could give away 20 codes to the Player One audience.
Well, join us next week, folks. That's probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
no, it looks like a cool game though, just from the screens I'm checking out. So I will have to try it.
Yes. All right. Should we do some tweets? You like that?
Eh.
You like tweets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Let's do this one then from hacker alias Maulik Sharma, who says, is something like a Giant Bomb Quick Look always superior to a written review? In what instances is the written word better?
When it's well written.
When you are a reviewer and you really want to be self-important and
When you know what you're talking about.
words about a game.
I think what Greg, you were talking about game trailers. Was that a video that they did, or was that a?
Well, yeah, it's game trailer. Well, I mean, they do written
stuff too,
stuff
right?
as well. But those weren't reviews. And
Right, but that stuff was the written word, right?
yeah, I mean, I think video's always got a bit of an advantage, obviously, because you can actually see what you're being told about. But it still follows the same pattern where it's like, Quick Look's great if they're giving you good information.
That's right.
And a review's great if it's giving you good information. The thing, the cardinal rule is, what does your audience need to know, and what do you think they want to know, and make sure you give them that information. Serve your audience. So, you know. But yeah, I mean, video is an inherent advantage for sure.
Yeah, I definitely prefer Quick Looks, where somebody who has reviewed the game, who knows a lot about the game, is walking you through like the initial stages. You know, like I I much prefer that to a review where I'm being told what the game is like. I'd much rather watch them play it, see how good they are at this game, and describing what's going on too. Yeah.
I think it's not even that hard for the stuff that I did for backmyplay.com and those reviews. Like if I pointed something out in the review, I also pointed it out in a video that I shot just to show people exactly what I'm talking about. Like if there's lag issues, I'm going to show you the lag issues. If there's like a problem where some graphics go crazy, I'm going to show you that too. And if they can just do that and just have, I think, accompanying a written review with some video to back up your words, not because if people want to say, "Oh, I don't trust this reviewer," hey, look I just showed you exactly what I'm talking about, so you can experience it and you can see what I'm talking about before you make your purchasing decision.
It also that sort of thing also helps the viewer, or the reader, I should say, and the viewer, discern whether it's as big an issue for them. The animation seems really weird or something like that, and you can show it in a video, but then that person can watch and say, well, that doesn't really seem like an issue, personally, so... Or at least you go into it knowing what's there and what you're going to get, so you have the right expectations.
Or if you want to play Magical Beat, and you're not, super happy about Japanese, what's it called, the Hatsune Miku type music, I'm going to show you that. So if you don't dig those tracks, don't buy this game.
For sure.
Yeah.
There you go. Hacker Alias Donald Mick says, how many of the games in the weekend's PSN racing games sale Greg own? Have you
there were a lot of
flash sale there, Greg?
Yeah. I just picked a couple of them, but I didn't pull the trigger. There were quite a few. I think there was like a page and a half of them.
Split Second was $4 or something like that.
God,
very very tempting to buy another copy of that. Although,
yeah, I'd love to go back to a time when I hadn't played that game just to re-experience it again.
That's true. That is so sad that game will not have a sequel, because that was such a fun racing game.
Yeah,
breaks my heart.
Yeah, but yeah, there's some good stuff on there. I think Sonic Transformed was on there as well, and
so good.
There's a lot of good stuff on there.
No Rio though. We don't have the Shenmue DLC on that. You have to get it on Steam. So still buy it. I don't know.
All right, let's see. Hacker alias Sean 697. Seeing the prevalence of booth babes still at Tokyo Games, bad or ambivalent, or which is better, a booth babe or CJ?
Well, CJ's always better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Only if he's in a skimpy outfit.
Yeah, sex appeal.
That's my normal booth outfit. So. Yeah.
Word.
I don't know. I didn't follow anything on TGS. All I saw was that one picture where the demo station.
One
you had to stick your head into. Yeah. What the hell was that about?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So apparently they talked about this a little bit on E4 Play, and by talking about a little bit, the One Chanbara booth came up like 6 times during their most recent show. Yeah. If you haven't seen the picture, so there's this large Japanese woman fighter girl with a cowboy hat, I think she has on in there. Anyway, and the gameplay stations
CJ's
are
the post
Really know. By the way, it's a
I don't know what I'm talking about with the power, of course.
Don't you own like an Oni Chanbara game?
He does.
I do. Yes. Yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah, well, there you go.
How would you know? You obviously haven't played it.
Pretty sure I talked about it on the show. Anyway, so then the demo stations are within where this character's breasts are. So you have to
right on your nipples, basically.
They have to poke. Yeah, they have to poke. The player has to poke their head through the nipple area to play the game.
Yeah. Just like real boobs.
Just like real boobs.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and apparently. Somebody explained this on A4 Play that it was because the game is rated Z from the
Z
CASA rating. Yeah, so it's adults only, and since Tokyo Game Show is like a open to the public show, they had to have that like behind closed doors.
A tasteful.
So why not
a
just
tasteful,
why not just
yeah,
buy
barrier.
a couple doors and close them? Like,
This is
I
why
know.
everyone's talking about this. This is the best PR
true.
move they've
Yeah.
ever had. Everyone has talked about this on every podcast.
Yeah.
Everyone posted about it on Twitter. Whether you give a crap about this game or not, you now know about it.
That's true.
that's true. Yeah.
And it's also,
Yeah, if it was just another Oni-chan game, no one would be talking about this. It's
Exactly.
Like, oh, another one of these displayed.
that's
yeah.
weird. The Sega Genesis
Yeah.
version is GA for general audiences. Right? Get the Genesis version. The guy at Toys R Us will let that ring right through.
Of course. Yes. All right. Let's do this one from hacker alias Khalil2000, who he's got multiple tweets continuing his question here. So he says, haven't been able to listen recently, but was just wondering, have you guys roasted Sony and Microsoft for releasing somewhat too gimped consoles that aren't really ready for prime time yet because they came out probably a year or two early?
Yep.
Further proof that all the big exclusives, mainly upcoming, have all been pushed to next year, and they don't have the features yet, at least on the PlayStation side, that the PS3 had, that seemingly should have been there out of the box. I mean, this is one of those problems, right? Because in the last generation, video game consoles have become more than video game consoles. They've become an entertainment services platform. And so that means supporting things like all the streaming services at launch, or being able to play things on your home network, or all these features that we're missing at launch that they're adding back through software updates. And the issue is, when you are working on a new hardware platform for gaming like the PS4, so much is like changing day to day just on the game side, like before launch, that imagine if they also had to deal with doing this other stuff at the same time. They want to. What's
You're
that?
developing on target hardware, right? Like,
Yeah.
And it's just an emulator, really, of what they think it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
And all the features now that we have on the PS3 weren't there day one, right? I mean, look at the launch PlayStation 3 to what we have now. It's night and day. So this generation isn't much different, but everybody has very short-term memories when it comes to stuff like that, and are expecting, from a consumer standpoint, that all of those things are going to be there, and it's a little bit unrealistic to have that expectation. But Microsoft especially is working very quickly and ticking down the list of things that they did not have that they've been adding to their system. They're doing like a major system update every month on the Xbox One and adding really good stuff. Whereas Sony, we've gotten a couple of them.
Can't go to YouTube.
We are still waiting for a lot of features on the PS4. Like, where is Suspend and Resume? Like, that was a big feature when they first announced the PS4, and still is not there. So,
see, I would say that. I mean, you're saying that people have short-term memories.
yeah.
The PlayStation 3 launch was a debacle, yes, as far as system features went, but it was a little bit easier to take, especially if you're like us, where you end up, usually getting all the consoles, because the 360 was already going, and it had sort of, it had a year to gestate and become a better console. But I don't think that's an excuse at all. The One and the PS4 were not ready to be released, as far as I'm concerned. And I mean,
well,
it's only been recently that I've really been playing either of them with any frequency.
I think part of the
still play
problem
my PS3 more than anything else.
The last generation just went on for too damn long.
It did go on for too long. Yes.
And then when sales finally started on a downturn, both companies were sort of stuck with having to rush everything out, right?
Well,
I
still
Microsoft
think that Microsoft reacted to Sony.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nintendo had removed themselves completely from the natural order of the generations. So.
Yeah, they certainly did. All right, let's do this one from hacker alias Flame Condor. who says, "G'day, mates." He must be Australian, maybe?
Or Austrian.
Brazilian.
If you could do the roster for a Smash Brothers style game using indie video game characters, who would you include?
Do indie video games have characters?
Oh my goodness.
How about all the enemies from Rogue Legacy? I already know your answer there, Phil.
Actually, I was going to say Commander Video.
Yeah, you
Commander
were.
Video. That's good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Commander Video. Duh.
What else? What else?
Gianna Sisters.
Oh, God.
All right. Got anything else?
I'm assuming we'd have to have Meat Boy in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah.
we're just showing how we're not indie gamers at all.
What
We're
about
just really
Minecraft? Isn't
exciting
Minecraft an indie
games.
game? You have
Well, not
Steve.
anymore.
Not anymore.
That's a huge corporate game now. I don't know if you've
Oh
heard.
yeah. Oh right.
Yeah. That's
Hey, we didn't
Minecraft
even we
spelled
talked
with a dollar sign.
We talked about that last week before it actually was confirmed that it was
Yeah.
happening.
Yes.
I think
So
someone
what do you-
listened to the Player One podcast and then went and bought Mojang.
Yep.
That's right. For $2.5 billion.
Yep.
$1 billion.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Must be nice, Microsoft. Spend $2.5 billion on Mojang, which really just has Minecraft to their name in terms of popularity.
And Notch immediately left.
Yeah. I thought his statement, which flared up on Twitter as a point of controversy, I thought it sounded very reasonable to me.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I didn't.
No?
No, I didn't like that statement at all.
You didn't like it?
Nah.
Why?
I just it sat wrong with me where the whole if I ever stumble across anything that's this huge again, I'm gonna run as fast as I can away from it. It's like, okay, whatever. I don't know.
Wiping his eyes with his $100 bills.
That's really how it read to me. And I mean, I'm not stupid enough to think that you have success and then the world is your oyster and you never ever have any problems again in your life. But
Sure.
at the same time, it's you've got thousands upon thousands of game developers the world over who would kill to have the kind of success he had.
Sure.
And, I don't know. It just sat wrong with me.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's doing. I don't blame him for what he's doing. But I also don't understand the whole well, I saw what Phil Fish went through, and I know that's going to happen to me. But no, you don't. You don't know what's going to happen to you, and just don't be an asshole like Phil Fish, and then you don't have to worry about it.
How would you feel if he goes to, Sega and says, "Hey, I got 100 million extra cash right now. Shenmue 3, where's the script?" How would you feel?
Let's make this happen.
If you get Yu Suzuki to come do it.
Make it a Dreamcast, 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Wii U release.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, no, you got to do a Dreamcast version. That's a Kickstarter reward, and we'll kickstart it too. So we'll get an extra $5 million just for Kickstarter stuff, and make it happen. I want to know what happens. I haven't even played Shenmue 2 yet.
Haven't you?
I have it. I can't do it. It's like
wrong
watching
with you?
Empire Strikes Back and then never getting Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Because Return of the Jedi is not going to happen, so why continue the story if there's no
I heard it ends
finish?
on a cliffhanger. I can't do it. I'll just take whatever Mega 64 did for that video, and I'll use that. That's the ending. I'll accept that. Whatever happened, I can't remember what happened in that, but it's acceptable.
The video is great. Still one of the classics.
Super good.
So wait, what were we talking about?
We're talking about indie game characters in the Smash Bros. Roster.
Oh yeah, indie game characters.
Yep. You heard mine.
Technically, aren't all those Nintendo characters indie game characters? Because Nintendo publishes their own stuff, right?
And Nintendo's not making much money, so that means they're indie, right?
Oh. That's rude.
I can't wait for Shigeru Miyamoto's letter about how he's leaving the industry because he's too successful.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Can't think of any more.
Really? Come on, I had a couple there for you.
The main character from VVV.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
There
that
you
one.
He's pretty
How
awesome.
about Rusty from SteamWorld Dig?
Yeah, SteamWorld Dig. There you go.
Joe
See?
Danger.
Ah.
The naked person from Akiba's Trip.
Yeah.
That's kind
Wait,
of
that's not an indie game.
well, it's published by
The dot from Thomas Was Alone.
I gotta say, if there's one thing I wish I could change about the industry right now, it's classifying indie games and separately from just games.
And real games.
Real game.
Real games and indie games. They're just games. Come on. Who cares how large the team was that created it? Then is Super Mario Brothers an indie game because it had a small team?
Balloon Fight's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's
Balloon Fight is pretty awesome.
Balloon Fight, yeah.
You know who I want in my indie game?
Yeah.
I want a Robot Unicorn.
I want that too.
And Amateur Surgeon.
Yes.
He probably has a name.
Keep going.
Does he have a name? Is Amateur Surgeon?
Alan Probe. Yeah. Keep
Okay,
going.
there you go. And Mr. Doombad.
Mr. Doombad.
Pretty sure that's his name, right?
No.
Baron von Doombad.
No, that's
Doomy Bad.
CJ's looking it up. He should know, so he's looking it up.
No, it's Lord Evilstein.
Oh, okay. Not Evilstein?
No. You can present it. You can pronounce it either way.
They messed up the spelling when he came to Ellis Island, so...
Is he Jewish? Is this a plot in the game?
You'll have to read the fanfic to find out.
I haven't finished it yet, so...
My son loves that game.
Yeah?
Holden plays that game
good.
for hours.
Excellent.
Glad I didn't spend any money
on
on
your
it.
iOS devices. All right, yeah, I gave you a code. All right, let's see. This one from Night Attack 09. Let's see, what did he say? What was the first online game besides PSO that you played a lot of?
Phantasy Star on... Oh, wait, what?
A console game, I'm assuming he's talking about then?
Yeah.
Speed Devils Online.
Quake 3, like we were talking about before.
Online.
And, Speed Devils Online, definitely.
NBA 2K1, NFL 2K1, fantastic online. For a 52K modem, it was unbelievable. For 56K.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember what I played online a lot of that wasn't PSO, that was on console.
I was also big into Rainbow Six on the Xbox.
Oh yeah, you tried to talk me into
into
getting that.
Yeah, I did. It didn't work.
Didn't work.
Did you guys ever do that? I remember before Halo 3 came out, or even before the 360, or even before Halo 2, I mean. Sorry, real big step back, but they had these like tunneling software that you could use to like system link between other people's consoles through the internet, so you could kind of fake Halo 1 multiplayer online, and it actually worked pretty well.
Yeah.
I want to say I tried that a couple times.
Isn't that what GameSpy was
exactly
supposed to be before it was a website that
GameSpy like something tunnel?
Phil Theobald worked at.
What?
One of the websites Phil Theobald killed.
I worked at GameSpy. I did.
Yeah,
although
exactly.
GameSpy, the actual reviewing site, had nothing to do with the online technology part. Never even saw. Was beaten by the tech side, but we had nothing to do with them at all.
Yeah, we were talking about Warp Pipe, I think, right? Warp Pipe, was that what it's called? Anyway, yeah, that stuff was cool.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Oh wait, are we doing more tweets?
You know what? I would say the first, or the first online game that I spent a lot of time with that wasn't Phantasy Star Online was probably Phantasy Star Online version 2. So.
All right then.
Well, it's not Phantasy Star Online, is it?
Well, I guess you're right.
I can't believe we waited that long for that punchline.
I can't believe we waited that long for you to show up for the podcast.
Touché.
True. All right, let's do one more question. One more, right?
Hey, one more. Let's finish it up.
All right.
Let's get out of here.
All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias, the real D Vance,
Okay.
who says,
That's not the fake one.
What's the biggest cause of a game to lose points in your mind? For me, for me personally, it's story. To truly enjoy a game, it matters a lot.
Difficulty.
Yeah, I think that's probably mine as well. I mean, story. Destiny has a story, but I really don't care at all about the story in that game. So
difficulty is up there, but control is obviously a big, big one. If it's got, I don't want to fight with crappy control at this point. You know,
that's it.
I played games with crap control all the time when I was a kid, convincing myself that it's still good. Even it's really hard to control, but no, Bart versus the Space Mutants isn't that bad once you kind of get the hang of the control. But no, it's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah.
Control. Is that what your answer is, well, Kevin?
I'm going to say control.
Yeah, I mean, these days it might just be something like DLC having actual parts of the game. Like I remember it was what was that crazy game with a huge giant that like put his finger into the earth?
Great.
What is it?
Azura's Wrath.
That's right. That's right.
Like the ending was DLC, like stuff like that. But for today, it's just like you guys said, it's control. Like we should have this stuff figured out by now.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right, is that a show? Is that it?
Yeah.
Did we wrap it up?
I think
Can I plug before we go to the outro? Can I plug my Extra Life campaign one more time?
Yeah, you want to plug the stuff in the intro? Or in the outro?
Well, it's too late.
That's easier. That'd be easier.
All right.
All right, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you will find pretty much everything you need to complete your Player One podcast experience. Yeah. You know what? If you have a mobile phone, just go to player1podcast.com and hold it in front of your eyes, and it'll be like a VR experience right there.
Ooh.
Yeah. You'll find vlog entries, sometimes about Sega CD stuff.
Not lately.
Not really though anymore. Generation 16 episodes when those are done, and a message board where you can discuss this episode and any episode really if you want to of the Player One podcast.
Discuss anything.
Exactly. Yeah. Just talk about whatever you want, but not Gamergate. No.
You could discuss episode 69.
Yeah, you could. If you wanted to do that, with us and our other listeners and such.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store. While you're at the iTunes Music Store, you can also invest $1.99.
I just gotta say, while we're sitting here, I'm looking at the little thumbnails of our video feeds on the bottom of the screen, and if Kevin and I, if our thumbnails are next to each other, it's like a before and after picture.
So what do I got, like 10 years? No, not 10 years, like 6 years?
No, I was thinking more of got my life turned around, lost some weight, worked out,
I thought you were talking about before and after, after
the
3 kids.
Well, I got old, I gave up.
Getting old, 3 kids. Yeah.
Cheap.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, the what have you, we also have all our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
We're even wearing same color shirts.
Wait, which one was talking just now?
I can't tell you apart.
I don't know which one to shoot.
He's the one.
GenerationDreamcast.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Start it up, Greg. Come on, let's get going. Skip the Sega CD. Skip the Saturn. Generation.
Oh,
Go for it.
don't be foolish. Don't be a
Generation
fool.
I'm going to
32X.
start that when I'm 90.
Although you already talked about Zany Golf, so
That's true. There's really nothing else to talk about on the
the
Genesis.
important stuff's out of the way.
Mm.
You can find that over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. Let's see, we're also on Stitcher. You can like us on Facebook. You can check us out on the YouTube at youtube.com/P1podcast. You can actually watch us do our show live most weeks, either through the YouTube or the was it the Google Hangouts, CJ?
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
we been broadcasting
That's
through
right.
Google Hangouts lately? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Follow our Twitter account to find out when and where we will be broadcasting our next
Yeah.
live
We,
show.
that's a good note also for Greg to check that Twitter account on what time we'll be starting. You know.
I want
That's-
Kevin Larrabee to grow a goatee and show up as the evil Greg. I think that could be our next. We had our robotic host, and now we can have our evil doppelganger host.
What would
right.
it be, like TurboGrafx or?
Yeah, you could be Johnny Turbo. You could be wearing a Johnny Turbo t-shirt.
Yeah. Got my Game Pro jacket, my leather. No, it'd be jean jacket, right?
Well, yeah.
For 1993.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do.
And Greg could represent the Dastardly Faka Corporation.
Yes.
So it's perfect.
CJ could be Monitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got the body for it.
Mm-hmm. And the square
Greg?
head. Yes.
Thank you for eventually showing up this week. Would you like to tell,
It was worth it.
clearly, would you like to tell everyone about your charity work?
Sure. The Extra Life Gaming Marathon is just over a month away. I'm currently at $875 of my $2,000 goal. And also, thank you, Kevin. He's one of the guys who has already donated. $25 or more, you can pick what game I play during one of the 24 hours. I think there's 13 hours left to buy. So head over to extra-life.org, look me up, Greg Stewart, and please give what you can. It doesn't have to be $25. It can be $1. It can be less. Tax deductible. Every cent goes directly to the hospital. If you want to support a local hospital to you, find somebody who's supporting that hospital. And if you don't have any money to donate, how about playing instead and asking other people to donate money? That would be great too.
If I donate $25, can I have you play Neuro Dancer?
It's not on the list of games that I have. And that wouldn't be very friendly. It's a kids charity.
Well, you're going to be doing it for 24 hours straight.
Mm-hmm. I'm not
Let's
saying
have
I
a
would
little
need
after
that,
hours.
but, yeah.
I'm just saying after hours.
After dark.
Yeah, man. I just want to. I want to watch you watching awkward video game semi-porn.
Yikes. Also, head over to Twitch TV /Seward because I usually stream some sort of video game every night.
Oh, yes. I streamed some Rogue Legacy
Did you?
a couple weeks ago, and
Oh, right
it was kind of fun. I should do that again, actually.
Yes.
CJ,
Yeah?
thank you for showing up on time.
Hey, no problem.
And, of course, an extra special, double, super fantastic thank you to our special guest this week, Kevin Larrabee. Kevin, tell the good folks at home where they can find you.
You can find, if you like video games, you probably like old video games. You can go to back of my. You should. I mean, if you think about it, video games haven't gotten better. So if you want to go to backofmyplay.com, you can check out some of the great classics on there. We just had Kurt Collada on to talk about Castlevania Bloodlines, like I mentioned before. So you can get that on iTunes as well. At Back of My Play on Twitter, and of course at Kevin Larrabee on Twitter if you want to talk about old games on there as well.
Yeah.
And you guys have all been on.
Heck yeah.
We have.
You can check
Right.
out episodes from all these guys, and then, like I said, Mike. Hopefully at some point I'll get the guts to play another Castlevania game, and then we'll be doing Super Castlevania 4.
Nope. Back in my place. Great show. I wear my shirt religiously.
Yeah, I wear my shirt regularly too.
Indeed, me too.
Yeah.
Also, I should say, just because I am going to be going out to Japan, we're actually going to do Zelda 2 at some point. So I'm going to have to finally play Zelda 2 because Mark McDonald and John Riccardi are big Zelda 2 fans. So I have to actually play that game at some point now. You guys like it?
I'm not into it now.
Okay.
I loved it back in the day.
I will say this: I like it. I think it's a good game. I think it's way too difficult, though.
Okay.
Yeah, have fun with that, especially because you when you play games, you play the original carts on the original systems. Yeah, you don't go emulator route or anything like that, right?
I'm actually going to probably play this on the 3DS.
Okay.
Just because I will be in Japan, I don't feel like buying the Famicom disc system because of the the great translation on the NES cart. I would need that to be able to complete the game, like I Am Error and all that crap.
Right, right. Okay, so you will have save states then on your 3DS.
Yes.
Expect to use them a lot.
It's a good thing to have.
I don't. It breaks the experience, man. I want the purest thing that I can get.
Then expect to die a lot.
Expect to send your 3DS sailing across the city from whatever floor you're staying on.
Yeah, yeah.
First floor, but that will allow me to get a new 3DS, and then.
There you go.
So it's a win-win, really.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Remember the region lock though, so don't buy one over there.
I know. Thank you, Nintendo, for continuing to be stupid about that. But.
Yeah, right. But yes, thank you, Kevin, for taking Mike's place.
Thank you, guys. I couldn't get the angle right, and I didn't want to constantly play my Neo Geo Pocket Color. But you guys are always fantastic. So thank you for having me back on the show. It's always cool to talk about relevant new games too.
Of course. And I guess we'll see people next week.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Bye-bye.
Next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ooh, well.